The Virtual's Genesis launches continue to deliver 10, 25, 50x returns on a daily basis. Hyperliquid ecosystem setting brand new all-time highs every single day, and the upcoming projects that I am bullish on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video. As usual, nothing in this video is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, but if you want to increase your odds of 10xing your portfolio, hit that subscribe button and let's jump right into today's video, starting off with Virtual's protocol Genesis launches, which are not slowing down. We are still seeing 10, 20, 50x returns out of this platform. If you remember, I had posted this tweet, which is outdated. I'm going to post an updated one once I get out of the cooldown jail, but of the 23 tokens that bonded, all the rest you get refunded for, 22 were profitable, 20 still in profit. That number might even be higher now with the new staking mechanisms. And these returns are not small. Yes, there's some like 3 and 5x's on this list. Not that we're getting mad at 3 and 5x returns on our money, but how many like 69, 100x returns, 10, 40, 40, 40, 15, so many amazing returns. And if we look at the new projects that just launched that aren't on my list, like Busy did well, Virgen did well, Nancy, all these projects did well, anywhere from like 5x returns to 50x returns. So in my opinion, you can't be avoiding this anymore. However, the number one question I'm getting is, should I still enter today? If I've never done anything on Virtuals, is there still time for me to enter this ecosystem, or is it too late? Look, first of all, I have no idea, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know when all this is going to end, which at one point it will end. However, I'm continuing to play in this ecosystem because projects are still, returning. And it doesn't mean you have to farm points and stake tokens. We're seeing some of these tokens launch and then do better after their launch, like in Nothing, which is, we're going to look at it. It's literally an agent that does nothing. You could have bought in and had some good returns here, but the one that was the best, let me go back to the ended here, was Virgen, which is just a meme coin. Like there's no utility to it, but you could have bought in anywhere down here and it went all the way up to, what was it? Like 20 something mil. Okay. It didn't hit 20, it hit 17, but you could have got great returns without doing the whole farming, but still just paying attention to the launches happening on this platform. But I know most people are interested in the launches because it allows you to get in with 20 bucks and turn that into 400, 600, even $1,000, right? So if you want those amazing returns, you're going to have to invest some money into this ecosystem, to which, should you still do that, there's a few things you have to consider, okay? Number one is you're entering an ecosystem that has already pumped. Because of the staking mechanism, all these agents are up, the Virtuals token is up, and at one point it's gonna go down, okay? That's the first caveat, which we're gonna discuss a little later in the strategies section of the Virtuals protocol portion of this video, okay? Number two, when you stake, if I want to unstake, there's a 14-day cooldown period. Not only am I no longer earning Virgin points on the token I just unstaked, I have to wait 14 days before I can sell anything. And if this thing dies, if the meta dies, 14 days is a very long time, okay? Take it from me, who just spent 10 days in the cooldown hell, 14 days is gonna be even worse, okay? And like, I bought Wint. I put in 500 bucks into Wint. It went all the way to 4K. If I wanna sell it now, I have to unstake and stop getting points. So it's very frustrating, this kind of stuff. I would suggest either not staking everything or stake it in portions. Like I shouldn't have put this all in one cluster. I should have done 2, 3, 4 different clusters. That way I can unstake half my tokens, leave half of them staked, and still get points. Consideration number 3 has to do with this post here from an AI agent who's crushing this meta. Basically, he's doing all the Genesis launches. So he's putting a small amount of money into new tokens. Those tokens are booming because he made some really good decisions here, and his portfolio is currently at 130 grand of staked agents, and he's getting almost 500K points per day that he could enter all the future launches. Either he can just enter them all and have a normal allocation, or he can get the max allocation of the really hyped launches. And it made me think, how many whales out there are doing this? It's like, he calls it a compounding effect where, he's investing in agents, his tokens are going up, and he's investing in more agents, getting more points, and so on. How many whales out there are doing this? And at what point do they just say like, my portfolio is worth $500,000. I just hit 100x on 3 tokens. why would I stake this? I'm out. And then they just unstake everything. They dump everything. Maybe they have enough Virgen points that they can keep entering launches and dump because they no longer care about the ecosystem. So that's something to keep in mind as well. People have been playing this game now for multiple weeks, and they've probably built up a big bag that they're going to look to offload who knows when. So those are the three considerations. With that being said, like, the launches are still doing well. So I'm still playing this game and I'm still participating in it. Obviously on my main wallet, I still have the cooldown. I have 1 day left and then I'm out. But what I suggest is have multiple wallets that you set up using a centralized exchange, because if your wallets are linked, like, they might punish you across multiple wallets. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but if the wallets are linked, you can get punished on both. So you don't want that to happen, especially if you have agents staked like me and your virtual tokens staked like me and you're yapping from the account. It's really frustrating. So have multiple accounts set up. That way, you know, if you enter one of these really hyped sales from 3 accounts, you're able to sell on 1 or 2 of them and still earn points on your third account. So my strategies right now, as we saw, I am staking agents. I am also trading agents to get volume, and you're able to freely trade as long as you don't sell the launch allocation that you got. You won't get punished. And the way I'm personally looking at my staked agents is just an example. Okay, fake numbers. Let's say you have $500 to put into Virtual's protocol. I would take half of that, buy agents. So 5 agents, $50 each, stake them, get some points with that. Use another, I don't know, $250 or less if you want to be risk off to trade agents. Ideally, you're not taking launches, so wait for dips. Don't be greedy. Trade these agents, get more points for the trading multiplier, and then wait for a really hyped launch to come up. Hopefully you get like a $10, $20, $50 allocation into one of these launches. And then if it 50x's or 100x's, which is not crazy, right? How many times have we seen that happen where it went over 50x returns? Your $50 is now worth $2,500 or $5,000. And that is a huge boost to your portfolio. And you don't even have to care if the $250 of staked agents goes to zero because you just made $5,000. So that's kind of how I'm looking at this stuff. Again, ignore the numbers, like I just made all that up. But that's the main reason I'm taking the risk of staking agents, which has a long cooldown, and, you know, playing this game. Now, of the upcoming launches, there are some really bullish ones. I haven't done the full deep dive in all these yet. I will have a post on Twitter about every single one of them. However, there's 3 that I'm looking at right now. It's Bookie AI, Solace, and Babysitter. And the reason is simple, because I said I didn't do research yet. If I search the word hack, all 3 were top 10 winners of the hackathon. So here, Bookie AI, top 10, Babysitter, top 10. And then we have Solace actually finishing first in the Virtuals hackathon event. The previous launches that we saw win this or be in the top 10 did really well. So this is like already a stamp of approval that everybody's looking to these projects and is bullish on them, having done no research. And I think they have good odds of getting direct backing from Virtuals. So those are the 3 that I'm looking at, although I'm sure there's plenty more on this list that are gonna do well, because we've seen a lot of really bad tokens do well. So as it stands, I'm still participating in this. You know, weigh the pros and cons if you want to get into this. And my video, my tutorial about Virtuals is already outdated. So I will try to make later in the week another tutorial on how I'm farming points, how I'm maximizing my farm, like what strategies I'm using and which tokens I'm choosing to stake, because there is a strategy there as well to maximize your points. However, moving on, still in the AI world, last week I made a full tutorial on farming snaps on Cookie, which is very similar to farming yaps on Kaito. However, they just kicked off their first campaign, which is for Spark. So if you're posting about Spark, you are able to earn snaps for absolutely free, and hopefully it leads to a really nice airdrop. Now, the downside with Cookie, similar to Ethos, is not just anybody can enter. You do need an invite link. In my last video, I gave out some links in the description. I gave some out in the comments. I have 6 left before the timer resets or whatever. It resets every 72 hours. But as you can see, like, I hid their names because I don't want to embarrass them or anything. 5 people who used my links only got 1 point, and they're not grinding. Like, look, Safs, he's grinding, right? He has the most points, even though he's not the highest up on the leaderboard on my list, but he is grinding like crazy. This dude hustles, okay? So I knew giving him a link, he's gonna work. So I'm very wary of giving my links out to people who are just gonna sign up and then do nothing with it. So if you're a grinder and you need a link, hit me up and I'll give you a link, an invite link, but make sure you're ready to grind this platform, okay? Because if there's an airdrop, look, I want to get it too. I want a big airdrop, and the links are limited. So I want to take advantage of that. But I understand you guys want to sign up and be able to take advantage of it as well. So I want to help you out and give you some invites. So if you're a grinder, let me know, and I'll try to give you a link. Now, the other thing I mentioned in my tutorial was the cookie token. I actually purchased this, and I said in my video, I purchased it at around 160 mil FDV. By the time I posted my video, it was already 190, but I posted on Twitter, like, I think it can still run. And it actually did go all the way to 310 million. So nearly a 2x from where I bought in. I did take profits here. The whole market's going down, right? So hopefully we go down even more. I could buy back into this as well as some other tokens, but the cookie token is doing really well. And this is considering they haven't introduced any staking mechanics yet. So hopefully they do have plans for the token to give it more utility, which would be really good for the price action. Jumping into the world of NFTs, we've seen some decent launches recently with the likes of Tokyo Beast, Monster Capsules for Monster.fun. Tokyo Beast went as high as 0.8. Yes, it is down now to 0.1, but that's because their token launched and the airdrop already happened. So the token did pretty well, especially if you're able to get out at the beginning. It was at like 180 million FDV, which if you held the NFT, it was actually more profitable for once to hold the NFT, dump the token, then dump the NFT than it was just to dump the NFT. Personally, I dumped on the first bounce here during all the FUD, and I managed to get out at the top of the bounce at 0.54. At current prices, I believe the airdrop is worth around $600 with the NFT itself being at break even. So you're up $600 if you did hold up until now and get that airdrop and dump it. But still really great to see a gaming token and NFT perform well for holders. Been a very long time. We also have Monster Capsules, which minted last week. Same thing, went as high as 0.8. This was a super hype project. It did really well. It is holding up really well at 0.7, especially that the staking is coming this week. And it does seem like staking is going to count how many capsules you hold as well as longer periods. So I imagine maybe there's going to be some sort of time lock staking similar to a lot of other platforms that we're seeing. And that's going to allow you to maximize your rewards and bonus allocation when it comes to investing in these tokens, because the platform is launching these AI agent monsters who battle each other, and whoever wins get to absorb a piece of the opponent's market cap. Now, there was a little bit of FUD around the launch of this NFT, which I was also upset about. I have no idea why they introduced a phase 2. It made no sense to me, especially that phase 3 was already over allocated. And, I had a collab with them. I got a collab very early. I feel like I gave them a ton of support, and there was no deal here, right? Like, I didn't have to give them support, but I feel I covered them in between videos and tweets over 20 times at least. Like, videos, definitely 5, but probably more than 10 if I really think far back, because this project took a long time to go to market. So I was really upset when like half my community was put on phase 2, which was over allocated, and they weren't able to mint. And a lot of people who were supposed to be guaranteed got put onto phase 3, which it didn't even make it there. So here they're saying, hey, there was only 30 wallets. Personally, I don't think that's true. But what they're going to do is, from my understanding, anybody who is on phase 2 is going to be able to invest in the token early, like the NFT holders. Hopefully that's a good deal for them. But we're also going to see how many investors are able to do that above the supply of 750. If it's 1,000, I guess that means it wasn't just 30 wallets. It was 250 wallets that weren't able to mint because it was over allocated. So I really don't understand why a hype low supply mint like this is over allocating. It makes no sense. That if it doesn't sell out, that's why you have the phase 3, which should have been phase 2 of first come first serve. Okay, that's why you have a public, all that. So please, projects, stop doing this. Stop screwing over your supporters and people who like your project. It makes absolutely no sense, and it just gets people mad. However, that being said, I still like this project. I still like Moody, and I'm still holding my NFT. I'm going to invest in the first launch that they have, and I'm bullish on it. So I want it to do well. It was just really disappointing to have this happen. As for upcoming projects, there's 4 that have caught my attention. The first one is by Bunya, who makes some really great pixel art. However, he also caught the eye of OpenSea after tweeting them out. And it seems like there's a good chance this project ends up launching through OpenSea, which would be great for him. But he's getting so many views off of this, and it's really helping him blow up, which I love to see. He makes some really good art. We have no idea about what this project's going to be. We know it's going to be a PFP, right? He also said more details in June, and he's also been saying Abstractio a lot. So I assume it's going to be launching on Abstract. He also has the green background for his PFP, and Abstract NFTs have been cooking. So it'd be really cool if this dropped on Abstract and it became like a main PFP, especially if it's low supply. I hope this is a low supply collection. But like I said, more info in June, but definitely give them a follow because I do think this is going to do well. The next project you should keep an eye on is Project X, which this is a secret project out of Lambo and Bobby, the original duo behind PacMoon, which is now called, I believe, like Army Coin or something like that on Solana. But PacMoon was on Blast and it did incredibly well. But not only did it do well on the charts, a bunch of people, myself included, got an airdrop from this for engaging with it and posting about it on the timeline. They were pretty much the pioneers of this whole InfoFi reward system that we're seeing with Kaito and Cookie. So definitely excited to see what they have this time around, and it's going to be on Hyperliquid, which I posted a tutorial about Hyperliquid. If you need help getting started, I'll link it in the description down below. But I also noticed it's getting a lot of traction. Typically, my tutorials are like a slow grind. They get less views at first, and then it crosses my normal videos because those are not evergreen, meaning, you know, if you don't watch it within the first week, like this video, if you don't watch it within a week, it's probably outdated by the time you watch it. However, my tutorials keep going up and up, but you'll notice a spike here in views, meaning a lot of people are trying to get onboarded onto Hyperliquid, and we could see more price action, but it's already been reflected in the price action. Like the whole market is correcting except for Hyperliquid. This thing is up nearly 50% in the last 7 days, and a lot of people are becoming more and more interested in it. We also have all the meme coins like Per, Buddy, Rub, all of them are breaking new all-time highs on their price. I really regret not buying Buddy. Like this thing has just been skyrocketing, performing really well. Next on the list, we have Blastem, which is a game coming to Abstract, which games on Abstract have been doing incredibly well, especially with on-chain heroes leading the charge, which their season 2 is starting this week, I believe. But we've also seen a lot of growth in the Abstract meme coin space. Now, we don't have too many details about this project. They did just drop a tweet explaining how the packs are going to work. You get 10 characters in it. There's going to be different rarities. And here they say if you want to get yourself a spot, you have to create content and tag Blastem. But I also know they've been doing a lot of partnerships with different projects, and these projects are getting pre-sale. So that's definitely something I'm looking into for my community. As for the game itself, we don't have any details. There's no website. There's no demo. I did get to look at like a soft demo as well as their pitch deck. But if you look here, it's pretty much an old school Bomberman game if you're old enough to know what that is. So this is definitely one that's caught my attention, especially with the amount of traction it's getting, all the partnerships they're doing, and with how well Abstract is doing, both meme coins and NFTs. Speaking of which, if you want to trade meme coins on Abstract, definitely check out Looter. I will put a referral link, so I get benefits when you use my link, in the description down below. You get XP if you use your Abstract wallet, so you don't lose any XP by trading here. I know a lot of people are trading on different websites or directly on the Abstract site, and it also works with a ton of other chains, which they just added hyperevm. So if Project X is going to be a token and you want to trade it, definitely check out Looter. It does pre-bonded tokens. Like I said, you get XP. So I'll try to drop a tutorial for this tool specifically for Abstract, but also for hyperevm this week. So definitely hit the subscribe button so you don't miss that. After that, we have another Avalanche meme coin coming out called Skimo. Unfortunately, I have no info on this. I haven't spoken to the team. One of my friends told me like, hey, follow this. I think it can do really well. So there's no tweets. I have nothing to tell you about it except for go follow it, I guess. Hopefully more information comes out and I'll cover it in a future video, but I'm really down to run round 2 on the Avalanche meme coin ecosystem, because that would the last time like Ket, Wink, and Blub giga cooked, dude. There was hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars to be made on those tokens. So I want to see that again for Avalanche. And hopefully this token can pull it off. So that's project number 3. And then project number 4, I just found out about this one, so I haven't done enough research, but it's called Hedge Empire. It's an on-chain idle game where you build your own hedge fund, hire traders, upgrade the algorithm, earn yield. You know, we just had Bitcoin that did really well. Of course, On-Chain Heroes continues to do well with their season 2 starting, I believe, this week. But this one's going to be on Sophon, and every project tends to have or every chain tends to have a leading project. I haven't done enough research in Sophon to know if this is the one, but hopefully it can be. especially with the success of a lot of on-chain games recently. Sophon is also having their TGE this week on Wednesday, the 28th. So excited to see how that does. There's going to be like a Kaito airdrop and all that. So definitely a project I am going to be researching, and hopefully I get a chance to speak with the team and get some whitelists to hand out. But another one I would check out. That being said, that's the end of this video. If you appreciate it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. It helps me reach a wider audience. If you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I have a ton of videos coming out. I'm going to pump out videos this week. I got a bunch of tutorials. I got a bunch of alpha to share with you. So hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification. Thank you for watching another Crypto Gorilla video. Peace.